Hello, good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming to the product session today. We're going to take probably less than an hour talking to you all about what we have planned across ISN, Palm Tech, and Home Inspector Pro. And hopefully we'll have plenty of time at the end to ask questions. If we don't, we will share our contact information and that kind of thing, and you should be able to definitely follow up with all of us after this. My name is Lindsay Grimm. I am representing ISN core product, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But I also want to introduce Janaya and Dan McConnon, who represent, give them a round of applause. Yeah, fantastic. And like I said, we'll probably each spend, I don't know, what is it, maybe 15 minutes each-ish talking about our roadmaps, and then again, we'll have room at the end for questions. So I'm going to start here. So when I talk about the ISN core product team, what I mean by that is there's basically like 3 different functional roles within our core product team. And this is actually how Janaya's and Dan's teams are also organized, but they have like different counts of the different roles. So we have 8 software engineers on our team. 6 of them are US-based, 2 of them are offshore. We have 2 product managers, so that is me and Emily Hill, who's in the front row here. And then we have a UX designer, so that person kind of has the visual knowledge and experience to lay information out in a way that we then hand off to our engineers to actually implement the work. So it's a lean, mean team, but we get a lot done. What we work on the core product, and this will probably also, this really roughly translates to what these 2 do as well. But our responsibilities run from all the way down to sort of our back end that you all never see, the things that happen in the background, like servers and databases and things like that. Those engineers work on those things. So if something goes down in that area of our product, our software engineers jump on that right away. And then there's one level up, there's the front end, so that's everything you see when you're logged into our software. So it's like the online scheduler, the order form, settings pages, all that kind of stuff. And that's just kind of business as usual, so we're just constantly making sure that's up to speed and running smoothly. And then one layer up from that, every time we build a new feature for you, this is the team that does that. So example of that is a few months ago we rolled out smart scheduling within the order form and in the online scheduler, and that team built that product from scratch. So they're not only maintaining databases, but they're also building new features. And then this is also the team that works on bugs. So if you contact ISN support and you have a question about something not working properly, if and when it makes it to the software engineering team, it's those 8 engineers working on that stuff as well. So like I said, we are spread across a lot of different expertise levels, expertise areas, and we work very hard. I'm very grateful for our engineering team. I'm going to go head nods, so are they. Yeah, exactly. So from a core product perspective, what we do is, somebody have a question in the back? No? Okay, sorry, I thought I heard something. From a core product perspective, from the ISN team, what we do is we are constantly looking at your feedback and your product requests, and we're also constantly looking at what are the needs of the overall business, not only at Porch, but at ISN specifically too. So we're constantly taking in that feedback and those new requirements and feeding those things into our roadmap from a prioritization perspective. And then what emerges from those priorities and needs is basically these rough themes that we try to identify at the beginning of every year. So these are themes that we're thinking about for 2025. And we think about our roadmap on the core team anyway in terms of basically the next 3 quarters. once you get beyond 3 quarters from now, it gets a little more ambiguous and a little bit more uncertain. So we try to stick to the next 3 quarters, and that's what you're going to see today. But our wheels are still turning about what do we want to do 1 year, 2 year, 3 years from now. So the themes are, we want to help you increase revenue. We know, in some parts of the country, the real estate market's kind of tough. And so if we can help you earn more revenue per order and or earn more revenue all up, we all win. So that's one of our top goals, our top themes. Another one is we know that there are pieces of feedback about our software that lots of people have. So we know that there's 30 people asking for feature A, there's 20 people asking for feature B. So we look into what those are and we try to group new features and enhancements basically by volume of people asking for it and kind of the level of complexity that it takes to make the fix. And then we're constantly trying to simplify. Anybody who's used ISN for a long time knows that it's complex and very highly customizable, and that's great, but there are downsides to that sometimes too. So we're constantly looking for ways to make it easier and simpler, not only on the front end, so what you all see, but also on the back end, what the engineers see. And then obviously we serve a greater organization, so there might be strategic projects that we need to do for both either ISN or Porch as a whole, so we will put those on our roadmap as needed as well. Okay, so when I'm going to go into the kind of meat and potatoes of what we're planning quarter by quarter for the next 3 quarters. Quarter 1, to help with the revenue problem or the revenue opportunity, we are going to build a tool that we put inside of ISN to help you understand how you are pricing your inspections versus kind of like the average inspection amount or range of inspection fees in your area. We received some feedback about this one in a meeting a few days ago, and so we're going to reach out to people in a little bit more detail about this one. So if you have some concerns in your brain, don't worry, we heard the feedback, and we're going to do a little bit more to explore this. So in terms of the next theme down is implementing highly requested customer feedback. One of the top things we have in our feature request tool is helping you all auto-populate property data. It's one of our top requests. So we're going to use Realtor.com to do that, and we're hoping to get that done in the first quarter. We're going to add more Zapier triggers, and that's going to take us a couple quarters to do. But what that's going to help you do is we were talking to some folks yesterday. Think about the ways that we trigger emails and SMS today. It's all based on the inspection itself. What Zapier is going to help us do is add more triggers beyond the inspection. So like if an agent does their first, 5th, 10th inspection with you, Zapier is going to be able to help add triggers so that you can send emails to your agents according to their activity. You could even think about it in the opposite too. If an agent is inactive for 30, 60, 90 days, Zapier will be able to help you kind of remarket to them and get them back in an active state. And then the last one, we've gotten some feedback on just tightening up some accounting practices. So we're gonna add the ability to, again, this is something you can turn on, this will be something you can turn on or not, the ability to version an invoice on an order. So instead of, if a fee changes on an order, instead of overwriting the invoice, you can create a brand new version. And that will help with, just, I think, again, just clean up some accounting for some of our accounts who have asked for this. And then in terms of simplifying, we're going to be updating our billing system. Should be very smooth. You should not see much of this, but this is something we're doing, and it's a big initiative for us to just simplify our platform. In Q2, so we're starting again with the average revenue per inspection or average revenue overall. We're going to help you create premium time slots to be able to add to your online scheduler. So say you want to charge more on like a Monday afternoon or a Friday or the weekend. We're going to give you the ability to do that either in the online scheduler or on your calendar. And then we're going to start looking into being able to expose the Flex Fund fee to clients. We couldn't do that in the past, but there's some changing laws that are happening state by state that will allow that to happen, and that will hopefully incentivize more people, more of our customers to turn Flex Fund on and start using it when they can kind of just tell their clients, this is the fee if you use this service. Highly requested feedback. We're gonna start, we've seen recently a trend where there are more owners that have multiple company keys within ISN, and that if you're not a franchise, if you're not coded as a franchise in our system, reporting on that can be really tricky. So we're gonna add some reporting functionality for what we're calling kind of like multi-office or multi-company key companies, so you don't have to go to ABC inspections, DEF inspections, HIJ inspections, and then like roll all of those up manually. We'll build reporting so you can do that kind of across the board. And then the work on the Zapier triggers will continue. And then in the simplify row, and this is a biggie, we're gonna start overhauling the look and feel of the order form. Emily's clapping, she can't wait. It's a ton of work. This is, our engineers have estimated this to be about 9 months of work, but it's long overdue. I think it will contribute significantly to the performance of the platform. So we're excited about that to get that started. Okay, in Q3, in terms of revenue, all up or per inspection, we're gonna start using AI capabilities to suggest packages and services to you guys if you're not using those things, or as a way to say, hey, you're getting a lot of these services, like we're seeing that you're getting a lot of these services within your ISN, within your account. Why not create this package? And we're hoping that again, if we can do more of that, what we can do is help you expand your revenue potential and just your overall portfolio of what you're offering your customers. We are, in terms of highly suggested feedback, some larger companies have asked us for user labels, the way we have agent labels today, which will allow you to manage your teams better. So think about being able to group like a group of 5 inspectors who you might call like Team A, and be able to see Team A's calendar in the calendar. So this would just be a way for better user management within your own systems. In the simplify category, again, we're going to be continuing the order form work, and we do have to do a major system upgrade at some point in 2025, and we're eyeing Q3 for that. And then this is where a strategic initiative comes in Q3. We've been thinking about ways to make sure your clients are getting their inspection report as soon as you've uploaded it and completed the order. So we're doing some work on being able to offer that via SMS, and that would be an opt-in for you guys. It wouldn't be something that we just turned on. So if you wanted this feature to send to your clients right away via SMS, we're going to start offering that. Just so we know clients are getting their reports, they're able to go right to our report download page, get access to them, and move on and with the home purchase if that's what they want to do. I think that's it for me. That's right. Okay, so I'm going to hand it off to Janaya, and then if you have any questions, we'll come back to Q&A.
Hi, I'm Janaya, and I want to talk a little bit about the report writer and our native app. So I kind of lead the product team for our report writer. So ISN report writer, PalmTech report writer, very similar. So I'm going to go through a lot of the things that we're working on. I'm going to touch on a couple of things that we've recently done, but also some really cool stuff that we're working on that I'm excited to share. So some completed work that we've done. So introductory text was a little bit buried before. It was kind of like you had to click a couple places to get to it. Now it's kind of in line with the rest of your comments, so it's really easy to find it. We've also introduced a new HTML editor, which has more formatting options, which I really love. So it's really easy to add your introductory text without actually having to navigate away and come back. One that I love, and I know a lot of you love too, is the Report Media Library. So it allows you to actually bulk upload your images. So you can easily just, if you're walking around and you take pictures and then you upload after the fact, or if you're pointing as you're going along writing the report, you can do both ways, and all images load up into this Report Media Library. And then you can use that, you can just drag those images into comments and lines throughout the report. So super easy, super visual, and it's a lot of people have given a lot of great feedback on this one. So we also made some image editing improvements. I think our annotation tool was really powerful. A lot of did cool things, but cool things you don't really use in the inspection business, like filters and things like that. So we really wanted to simplify it. Basic arrows, rectangles, circles, annotations. You can adjust the color and the thickness of things. So if you like a thick arrow, you can make it set for a thick arrow, and pretty soon it'll actually remember that, and the next time you come back, it'll always use that thick arrow. So some really cool improvements that are going on there. So captions. Captions have been made easier. Before, see that where it says manage, you'd have to click on that manage button to get to the captions. So they're kind of buried. And now they're just made on the screen. So wherever your image is, the caption is right there. You just add it, and it then shows up in your report in line. Small detail, but something that is a really big time saver. So those are all things that we've done recently. I want to talk about the cool stuff that we're working on now. So we're working on a comment library. So I know a lot of you, if you're using other services or if you come from other places, you might be used to a comment library. Right now we have templates, and in the templates you keep your collection of comments. What we want to do is be able to have a separate way to keep your comments in a comment library, and then you can just use that. So you can see this is inside the report writer where you've got your list of comments, and you just kind of have to, you can search, you can filter, and grab the comment you want and plop it in, and you won't have to worry about attaching it to the template anymore. So we're also launching a new comment screen along with the comment library. It's a little bit easier interface. One thing I like about this, though, is you can tag your comment, and that comment that is now associated directly with that category, so that it's easy to find the next time you are looking in that list in the comment library. It also includes some save to the comment library. So if you write a comment and you want to save it to the comment library after the fact, super simple, just click the checkbox. The checkbox will be on by default, but you can check it off. And then there's some other things that we're working on around the summaries, and I'll show you that in a second. This is one of my favorite things that we're working on right now, and I'm excited to say that it's going to be launched in the near future. So I'm talking like post-Thanksgiving. As soon as we get back, we're going to be able to launch this AI comment helper. And the great thing about the AI comment helper is a really simple interface, and it's right there when you're writing your comments. You can put in the title of your comment, like this one says window sealant and frame wear. You can type that in, hit the generate button, and it uses ChatGPT to generate a couple of comments for you, and you can choose which one makes the most sense for what you, and you can regenerate it, you can make it longer, you can also add recommendations. So if you want to, you can have it add recommendations, so it says, whatever the recommended course of action would be or any follow-up. And I've been testing this for about 6 months now and playing around with it, and it's actually really, the newer model of ChatGPT is doing a great job of giving back really reasonable, well-written comments. So I'm really excited to see what you guys think of it and get it out into your guys' hands. So also working on a bunch of functionality improvements. So being able to move or copy a category between templates and between reports, as well as being able to choose a category that does not print in a report. So maybe you just have like instructions to your inspector that maybe you don't want to have it print in the report. We also have the ability to assign a color, And this is something where it sounds a little weird, but it's about if you have a primary inspector and a secondary inspector, you can say, one's red and one's blue, and then easily scan the report to know where, or the report writer to know where each of those people need to be. So one guy's on the roof and one guy's in the kitchen. Easily the dots will show them where that is. So we're also working on a new report settings page. And this is going to be kind of an evolution of things. So this looks very similar to what is today, but it's more of a portrait style page. And it's going to give us more room to grow on this page. But the new thing that's coming out of this is the ability to use any color you want on the report writer. So it'll have a color picker, and you could also just put in your hex code. So if you have a brand color that's in your logo or something that you want to have standard on your report, you'll now be able to upload that as soon as we launch that, which is going to be soon. And then from there, we're going to grow this page to have more functionality. So another piece of functionality that's going to go on this page is different layout options. This is just the beginning. We're going to have more than that. So what we have is our standard layout right now, which is kind of modular, and it's got a lot of spacing. We're going to build in a new layout, which allows for a little bit more compact look and feel, smaller image. And what we want to do is kind of just launch a few of these layouts. Just to give you guys differentiation in your reports, because I know that's really important to you. You don't want your report to look like the guy next door or the gal next door. Other things we're adding to this is whether you want to have like a color mode, spacing, corner radius. These are all customizations you can do on top of the layout. So being able to choose a dark mode or a light mode or a color mode will change the look and feel of the report itself, as well as controlling the spacing between elements, and the edges of the quarters, controlling the radius and kind of how those images look. It's all kind of just meant to be differentiation levers that you can pull. So we're also working on some summary settings. So you can choose where the summary appears, whether it's in the front of the report, at the end of the report. You can choose how it's grouped, how it's, whether you want to show categories in the summary. So this is something we're going to be growing, but giving more flexibility as to how that summary is presented. Also footer options. So this is something we're working on as well. So we want to be able to let you customize what your footer looks like. So maybe you want to have the inspector signature and the inspector license number in your footer, or maybe you want to have the inspection address and the date, time of the inspection. You'll be able to kind of mix and match these things to build the footer that makes the most sense for your business. We're also adding custom cover pages. So because we got this new HTML editor, we can build in custom cover pages that allow you to add tables and images and videos into a cover page into the report. So you can make that kind of report cover page stand out. And so this is something that we're working on. It also will take in the variables from your account. So you'll be able to build it using the variables you can see on the side there. This is a growing list. But this is kind of where we're starting. So you can put in inspector name, company phone, you just click on it, and it'll kind of build out that page for you. Default ratings. So I get this question a lot. I mark everything as inspected or with a default rating, unless there's a defect. So we're going to have it so you can set a default rating. You'll basically go into the editing of the rating, and you'll say, this is my default rating. And then when you do that, everything will show up as that rating, and you can add ratings on top of it, or you can replace it with a different rating as you're going through the report. All right, so that's the report writer. A lot of really cool stuff. That is probably the next 6 months worth of work, but I'm really excited to get this stuff out for you. I want to talk a little bit about the native app. So I want to ask a question. How many, are we all ISN customers? Are we kind of a broad spectrum of customers? ISN? ISN, mostly? Do you have the native app? In my purse, when we're done here, if you want the native app, I've got a QR code that you can use to download the native app from the Apple Store, the Android Store. But we're really investing a lot of time in our native app, and it's really kind of ISN in your back pocket. We launched it a while ago, and a lot of people picked it up and didn't find much value in it. But we have really been working hard to bring value to the app. So if you're working in the field, and the other thing is it's deeply integrated with the report writer. So you can go in, find the inspection that you're working on, open the report, start writing it on a tablet or on a phone, and easily be offline and doing everything. It all kind of connects to the cloud once you get back online again. So really encourage you to download the native app and give it a try. Totally open to feedback as well there. So one of the things that we've done recently is we add some accordions to the inspection details page, as well as some quick actions. So now you can add a note, let the customer sign the agreement, view and upload reports, view email events, send email templates, and add property photo. This is all out there now, so you could do all of that in the field from your phone. And you can always see at the bottom, there's the big blue button that says Write Report. It's there, it's sticky, it's super easy to find and get to, and you can start your report right there in the field. Another thing we did is we redesigned our inspection search screen. There's now a Me tab and an All tab. The Me tab is your inspection. So as an inspector, these are my daily inspections. The All tab is as an owner or an admin, or just as a guy that kind of shares work with other inspectors, you can see everyone's inspections. And that wasn't possible before in the app. So this was a really important thing that we added. It's hard to see here, but you can also see on the calendar it's color-coded. So there's color settings in ISN that you can set for your inspectors. Those colors translate now into the app, so it's easily to scan and see whose inspections, who's based on the color. Some work that we're doing that's in progress, and this is a really, really big one, and it's close. When I get home, we're going to launch this. So I'm really excited about it, but it's basically an overhaul of the way that you create a new inspection in the app. Right now, it's a linear process. You kind of hit next, next, next. I think I talked to somebody about this yesterday, and they were frustrated by it. And I said, I can't wait to get home to launch this for you, because now you can just start anywhere you want to when you're creating an order. The also thing that's cool is that we've combined inspector, duration, date, and time all into one screen, because then we could use those levers to kind of tell you who's available and who's not available. So it's a huge improvement, because before they were all in different screens. And there was never really any way to say, this inspector is available at this time. So that is the work that we're doing for the native app. Thank you. Dan?
Thanks, Janaya. I'm Dan. I'm with Home Inspector Pro, and I have become the product manager, so I'm in charge of the new features and the new things that are happening with Home Inspector Pro. So one of the big things that we're working on, and this is actually going to be released in the next week, or at the end of next week, are updates coming for Home Inspector Pro. There are 3 products that make up Home Inspector Pro: the desktop app, where you actually generate your reports; the mobile version, where you collect the information in the field; and then our HIP office, which is used for inspection management, scheduling, all those type of things. So the first thing covers the desktop portion. So we currently have an HTML version of the report. We have had that for quite a while, and that's integrated whether you're using HIP office or ISN. But the HTML report that we create is identical to the PDF. So you're limited by the 8.5 by 11 layout of the page, which is somewhat limiting. So the new feature has, in version 2, makes an actual web page. It fills the full page. And you can see the example of the current HTML report. Looks like a PDF. The new version actually allows for a full, lush report that is more visually appealing to customers. The benefit of this as well is this allows us to have a framework for new features that we'll be able to add. So for your customers, they're going to be able to have more interactivity, add more features like better video integration, YouTube integration, other features that appeal to all generations of home buyers. Question we get often asked is about AI. And one of the big features we're going to be releasing next week is AI-based report translation. Now, in the past, we've done translation. We've tested it out using like Google Translate and other services, but it's not very accurate. It's machine translation in the truest sense. So using newer AI-based features, we're actually able to go through and translate your report, whether you do it in English, Spanish, French, into another language. So out of the box, we're going to be doing Spanish, French, and Canadian French. And you can do those both ways. And so especially if you're in a market that has larger populations of other language speakers, you can have an inspector who's English-based do the translation. It's going to include the full report in English at the beginning and then an exact copy right after. And there are disclaimers in both English and, well, the source language and the target language. So this way you're able to offer services to your customers without necessarily having to have staff that are fluent in those languages. Of course, it's always beneficial to have those staff available, but they're going to rely on the primary language of the reports. And one that's been asked for quite a while is template sharing. And this is so if you have multiple inspectors or even just multiple machines in your one inspector, this allows you to take your template, you make changes to it, and apply it to another machine or to any of your inspectors through just one file. And this saves a lot of headache, makes updates for your inspectors much easier, and this is based primarily on feedback from customers to make your job managing your inspectors and your inspections much easier. And these are going to be released at the end of next week. There's also a large number of other smaller features that are included and some bug fixes as well. Oh, it's in there twice. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. So for the HIP Mobile, one of the huge features is our team-based inspections. The team inspections allows you to be a team of multiple inspectors or a team of one. We launched this a few years ago, actually, even before COVID, but we did run into some problems with this. And so we have spent the last year and a half revising this significantly, redeveloping portions of it, and a large amount of testing, both internal and external. And we've made it so you're able to be more confident in that your data is being synced, but also being able to handle disconnections and going to places where you don't have a data connection. Inspectors go to some of the worst places that also don't have internet access, and you need to be able to do your inspection, come back, and have everything seamlessly come together. And with the testing that we've done, it is able to handle that very well. And this was actually released 2 weeks ago. We haven't done a formal announcement. We're going to give it a little bit more time, but we're hoping to formally announce this in about a week or two. And part of this gives your inspectors the tools to be able to see status for every inspector. You can see at the top, it's kind of small here, that it actually gives you a quality connection for your actual connection to the different teams, not just to your cellular connection, and also allows you to see the status, so you're making sure that every inspector is fully synced. And that ties in with our existing client presentation app as well. For the HIP office, we've been adding a number of new features, and we have some on the horizon. One is we have full multi-inspector scheduling, so you're able to schedule for multiple inspectors, both with scheduling individually for your inspectors, where through the online scheduler, you can have it so your clients can choose which inspector they're going to schedule with, or it can just assign it to whoever's available based on time. But you're also able to assign multiple inspectors to a given job. And so this allows you to have your primary inspector, and you may have somebody who is certified in like radon or mold who can also be associated with that order. We also now have the ability to generate quotes. Often you'll get customers who are just looking for a quote. They don't know when they're going to be doing the inspection. This allows them to go through the booking process and select to just receive a quote, so they're able to have that information, and it's stored separately from your normal orders. So you're able to follow up on those. There are specific triggers for those quotes, so you're able to follow up based on, say, 3 days after you send the quote, to send a follow-up email just to confirm with the customer. And there's additional features we're going to be adding for that as well, to add additional conditions for that filtering. So going forward, Home Inspector Pro has been around for over 20 years, and it's a mature product, but there's new features that we need to add into that. And so we're looking towards the future of what we're going to do in HIP 7. Currently, and the way that Home Inspector Pro has worked for a long time, you do your collection of the information either using the mobile app or the desktop. Some guys still use digital cameras and a notepad, even today. But we want to have it so that they don't have to rely on that. We want you to have the options to do the inspections how you choose. So one of the biggest features that is planned for HIP 7 is the ability to collect all the information in the field and actually generate the report in the field and send without having to go back to a Windows or Mac computer. Now, you'll always have that ability to go back to a larger screen, but we want, for most of the inspections, we actually find a large number of inspections, most of the issues can be covered just from the mobile device. So you should be able to collect it, generate it, review it, and send it, all from that one place. And so we're working to build that in both at the cloud level and also have that available from both the desktop and mobile. One of the strongest features of Home Inspector Pro for the longest time was how we handled images. In the industry, especially about 10 years ago, it was better than anybody, but times have changed. And so we're working to update how the images are handled, both in the program and how you take them, but also how you assign them, sort them, and handle them just in general. So we're working on the UI to make it easier to manage your images and apply them and reuse them within your actual reports. And also how inspectors take a lot of photos. There are some guys that take literally 1,000 photos per inspection, but they only use about 70 or 80. What do you do with those remaining images? It would be best to have those actually in an organized way, and so we're working on ways that you can organize those images so you have them for quick reference, and you can also generate separate report that is just all your images as kind of a contact sheet. In addition, making sure that all the functionality between all the platforms, whether mobile or desktop, is consistent, and updating how video is integrated both as a native video that you're adding in or coming from third-party sources like YouTube. And one of the things that is changing is just time. And the people who are your inspection clients, there's a wide range of inspection clients from people in their 20s to people in their 80s. And the way that they take information in is changing. And so we're adding in features that make it so that your reports are able to adjust to how your customers are going to take the information in so they can better experience the report, get better knowledge, and make a better decision that's well informed. So we're working on different ways to gather feedback from your customers so that they can respond to you without having to go to multiple channels so it's coming from all directions. Have a streamlined flow that the information can come to you from your customers and you can respond, as well as how you present the information to your customers. And all of these are features that we're working to go in HIP 7, which we're targeting for sometime in 2025. And one of the big ones is also making sure that your program is up to date and that you're getting information better from us. We want to make sure that everybody is getting the latest features and the latest updates, both for security and new features, and also be aware of how that information is coming across to make sure that you're up to date and you're not just wondering, I wonder if they're going to do something. Well, we should tell you. And that's the easiest way to get information to you. So we're working on streamlining that process, both to get information to you, but also we want to hear more feedback from inspectors. None of us at Home Inspector Pro have ever been inspectors, and that's kind of by design. We are not experts in how to do an inspection, so the best way we can get information about how you do your job is from the people doing inspections. So we want to make sure we're getting as much feedback from you, so we're working on channels for that as well. There we go.
So I want to open the floor to questions. We have this big red box that Dan will throw around, or we can pass around. If anyone has any questions for any of us.
Questions?
The question over here. Throw it.
There you go.
Inspector payroll report. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
That was removed, or now you get the CSV instead of the nice report, which is a real pain in the butt.
Yeah.
I know it's not, obviously, by your reaction is not the first time that's been brought up. I did submit it to feedback, and they're like, oh, tell us more about that. And I'm like, I'm not going, I don't need to tell you about that. So I never replied to that. But is the report generator type, nice, pretty thing coming back?
Yeah, let me set the stage. I wish that our engineering manager were here today because he could kind of maybe describe some of the challenges that led to us making that change. But for those that don't know, we have something called the Inspector Earnings Report. And for a long time, what would happen is you'd run the report for any span of time. It could be a month, it could be 6 months. And it would return the results on the screen where you were trying to download the report. So you'd hit run report, and then a period of time would go by, and the results would appear on that same screen. What was happening was, for larger accounts, it was timing out, not only maybe for a 6-month span, but also for a 3-month span. And so what we did was we had to solve that through like a technical solve. And what we did, and we learned from this. So I think there's 2 things going on. One of which is the actual implementation is people didn't like, but also we made an assumption that it would work for people, that it was an implementation that was beneficial and helpful for people. So we learned from that. So what we do today is what will happen in a lot of other software that you use, where if you try to download a large amount of information, what will happen sometimes is it will get emailed to you instead. So we are returning that report for like spans of time in which we can pull the data for you and return it on screen. But when it gets to be too big, and that's 30 days and above, and I know you're grabbing the mic because you're about to tell me it doesn't run for, it emails it to you at 29 days probably, right? Is that right?
I don't know if I've ran it for 29, but I pay my guy once a month.
Yeah.
So
it's
30
running.
days.
Are you a small company or are you a large company?
Small. Me
So
and
small.
one other guy.
Yeah. So I think what we're hearing is there are small companies where their expectation is it's not a ton of data. It used to return for 30 days, and now we're getting this email. So what we do now is when it's a large report, 30 days and above, we email it to you, and we email it to you in a format where, like a raw data format, where you can just quickly open it up in like an Excel, or we also give it to you in like a formatted with your logo, just like a PDF basically. So that's, people don't like that, right? And I'd like to know just one step further. Is it the receiving it by email that doesn't work? Is it the formatting that doesn't work?
Format 100%, because I get it in a CSV file, which has order number, I mean, all the information from the order that I don't care about for payroll. I need address, what the service was, and what I got to pay him, what the company split is.
So you're getting too much data in the CSV.
Right, but I don't even want it in the CSV. I have to go through, delete all the columns
that aren't relevant.
Copy, paste that into my PDF template that I've created
Got
based
it.
on the old, how I used to receive it.
Got it. Okay.
Paste that in there with the dates, email it to them and say, hey, here's what your payroll is going to be for,
Got it.
and then send that to the bookkeeper, have her do the direct deposit and everything.
Okay. I don't think it's going to be possible for us to basically revert back, because basically reverting back would continue to break things for a lot of people. What we can do is look into thinking about the columns that we give you guys, or the way that we give you options into which columns you want to be emailed to you. So that's helpful. That's helpful feedback. Can we? Maybe I can get your contact information. I know you said you don't want to talk about it anymore.
Oh, no, I don't mind. I just don't want to, if other people aren't having the same issue,
Right.
then I don't want to belabor the point.
Yeah. No, you're not belaboring the point. The feedback, we always want to hear feedback. And so just getting the more detailed, is it, what is it about the change that is particularly painful to you? We know that now. So maybe I can just gather some more details from you right after this.
I mean, it went from a 2-minute process to a 15-minute process to
Yeah.
run the report. Oh yeah, there it is. Now
Understood.
it's separate this, copy paste, save as.
Okay.
all that.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, so that's the other thing where so the question back here was, can we make it 31 days? Because it's breaking at 30, which seems crazy. And maybe we should make it 32 days in case we hit October. So yeah, that's something we actually have in our backlog to look at what would that actually do, and how arbitrary is that 30 days. So yeah, thank you. We will look at that as well.
So I have an ISN question also.
Okay.
In regards to reporting, in regards to the mileage, calculating mileage for inspections, is there works the way to simplify that as well? Because right now you have to go in to calculate, sit there and go for the month, hit calculate, go per month, get a total, and then go back at the end and then convert it over to, and then transfer it over to an Excel spreadsheet. Is there any way to simplify that as far as, if you run a report, just like you for earnings, you can just run a report for the year or the whatever, and it's automatically calculating it for you?
I think I understand the question, and we just rolled something out
Okay.
that may help with this. If you go into advanced download, there's an advanced custom download report in ISN. We just added a checkbox in there where you can now check mileage. And if you check mileage, what it will return in that report is the mileage to the inspection. So depending on what your settings are, is it from the inspector's home address, is it from the office, it will return the mileage to the inspection. So that's brand new. We just launched that, what was it, like a month ago?
Yeah, like a month.
Yeah.
This is why I
Does that help?
No, it does help.
Okay.
That's one thing I've fought for ever since I've been with ISN since 2016 is always trying to calculate my mileage. I'm like, I go into the support chat and ask, and they're like, well, you need to do it this way
Yeah.
immediately. And then the other way they added not too long ago, or how long ago was we sit there and calculate.
Oh, yeah.
Every single one. I'm like, okay,
This should really help you, what we just launched. Again, if it doesn't, contact us and we can figure out where to, we can just figure out what it's not solving for
As
you.
far as the settings, as far as let's say we have multiple inspections, as far as will it calculate from that first inspection, then the mileage to the next one?
Yes.
Or do we have to go, okay.
Yes. So the question is if they're coming from a second inspection, will it start
So
there? And yes, it will.
It'll do like any time you're going to an inspection, whether that's like office, inspector, address, or from another inspection. We haven't added the functionality yet for the return trip on the advanced reporting, but definitely open to it if people want it.
Yeah. Other questions? I thought there were other hands, but maybe other people got their questions answered.
You guys want to grab us afterwards?
Yeah.
If you don't want to ask a question in this area, or down in the expo hall, feel free to
Yeah, thanks for coming, and looking forward to the next year, 2025. Thanks, everyone.